In America, we often consider our professional athletes as heroes. They're physical specimens in peak physical shape, well, most of them anyway, who are glamorized in society. They make exorbitant amounts of money, and they live lives that most average people can only dream of. But you know, there is an opposite to a hero. That is the villain. While most athletes are decent people, there are some who cross the line into villainhood. So let's take a look at 10 NFL players who, due to behavior both on and off the field, lost their hero status. O.J. Simpson, Buffalo Bills, San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, I think this one's kind of a no-brainer. The first overall selection of the Buffalo Bills in the 1969 draft, O.J. Simpson would go on to play 11 years in the NFL. O.J. led the league in rushing 4 times, including breaking the 2,000-yard rushing barrier in 1973. The 6-time Pro Bowl selection and 1973 AP MVP earned induction into the Hall of Fame in 1985. In addition to being one of the game's greats, O.J. was also one of the league's most popular players. In fact, the Juice turned that popularity into a successful acting and broadcasting career once his playing career had finished. Then, the calendar flipped to June 13th, 1994. That fateful day, Simpson's ex-wife Nicole and her friend Ron Goldman were found murdered outside of Nicole's home. In an investigation and case that gripped the country, O.J. was eventually charged with their murders. While the trial found him not guilty in the criminal trial, he was found liable for $33.5 million in damages during the civil case, and many Americans have considered the Juice to be the guilty party. In 2008, Simpson was sentenced to 33 years in prison for armed robbery and kidnapping. He would be paroled in 2017 after serving 9 years. Simply put, though, O.J. is probably the poster boy for sports hero turned villain. Michael Vick, Atlanta Falcons, Philadelphia Eagles, New York Jets, and Pittsburgh Steelers. This was another easy selection for our list. Michael Vick was an exciting player to watch, but in the eyes of many, his off-the-field transgressions crossed a line that he will never be forgiven for. Vick's career is a tale of before and after. From 2006 through 2011, Vick electrified crowds with his arm and his legs. He made 3 Pro Bowls during those first 6 years and had a 1,000-yard rushing season in 2006. During those first 6 years, his jersey was absolutely everywhere. Sure, from 2004 through early 2007, Vick had been involved in some minor off-the-field incidents, but the hammer really dropped in July of that year. Vick and several others were arrested and indicted on state and federal charges relating to running an illegal dogfighting operation. Reports of torture, abuse, and killing dogs who underperformed led to a massive public backlash against the Falcons quarterback. After pleading guilty to the charges against him, Vick served 21 months in federal prison. Upon being reinstated to the NFL after serving his suspension in 2009, Vick would continue to play in the NFL through the 2015 season. Sure, legally, the quarterback served his time, paid his penalty, and was allowed to continue his career, but to animal lovers and many just general NFL fans across the country, me included, there's nothing that Michael Vick can really do to make up for his years of animal abuse. Ray Rice, Baltimore Ravens. So far, we've had an alleged murderer and a dog killer. So, hey, what other offense can we add to this? Well, enter Ray Rice. Drafted in 2008 out of Rutgers, Rice was handed the starting running back job for the Ravens in 2009. He rewarded Baltimore with 4 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons from 2009 to 2012, earning 3 Pro Bowl nods and a championship in Super Bowl 47. Rice was on the cusp of stardom until February 15th of 2014, when he and his fiancée were arrested and charged with assault. The incident was made way worse when 4 days later, a video was released showing the couple arguing and the running back punching his fiancée in the face. As a result of that punch, she hit her head, lost consciousness, and was dragged out of the elevator. Rice was facing the possibility of 3 to 5 years in jail, but 6 weeks after the incident, the couple wed. Legal charges were dropped when Rice agreed to counseling, and seemingly all was well. Professionally, after his arrest, Rice was released by the Ravens and sued the team for wrongful termination. The suit was eventually settled, but he never resumed his football career, and many NFL fans just couldn't quite see him in the same light. Yeah, there's absolutely no excuse for domestic violence, and as such, Ray Rice absolutely deserves a spot on this list. Rae Carruth, Carolina Panthers. In 1997, the Carolina Panthers selected Rae Carruth with the 27th pick of the first round of the draft. During his rookie season, Carruth had 44 catches for 545 yards with 4 touchdowns. He earned all rookie team honors this season. His sophomore season was cut short due to an injury, a broken foot, suffered in week 1. Carruth was healthy for the start of his third year, and expectations were pretty dang high for that 1999 season. After 5 games, he had 14 receptions for 200 yards and no touchdowns. In November of 1999, Carruth's pregnant girlfriend was shot 4 times. Before succumbing to her injuries, Sharika Adams called 911 and stated that her car had been blocked by Carruth's car while a passenger in another car shot her. After Adams' death, the Panthers wide receiver fled but was quickly captured. Carruth was found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, shooting into an occupied vehicle, and using an instrument to destroy an unborn child. He was spared the death penalty, but was sentenced to 18 to 24 years in prison. Carruth was released from prison in 2018 at the age of 44. Any chance of resurrecting his career was off the table. And, well, considering his actions, I think that's a pretty dang good thing. Ray Lewis, Baltimore Ravens. The second Hall of Fame inductee on our list and the third player named Ray. Lewis had a decorated playing career. In addition to the Hall of Fame, the linebacker was named to 12 Pro Bowls, was a 7-time All-Pro, a 2-time Super Bowl champ, and the MVP of Super Bowl 35. But it's in the aftermath of the Ravens' Super Bowl 34 loss in 2000 where Lewis earns his villain status. At a party after the game, a fight broke out between Lewis's friends and another group, and as a result, 2 men were killed. Lewis and 2 of his friends were indicted for murder and aggravated assault. Lewis's white suit from the night of the party, allegedly stained with blood, has never been found and believed by some to have been disposed of. However, the blood of one of the victims was found in Lewis's limo. Shortly into the trial, Lewis reached a plea deal. In exchange for his testimony and a guilty plea to a lesser charge of obstructing justice, the charge of murder would be dismissed. Lewis also reached financial settlements with the family of the 2 victims. In the eyes of many, the actions taken by Lewis are not consistent with an innocent man. So regardless of whether or not he was actively involved in the murder of the 2 men, it's pretty dang clear that Lewis knows far more than he says, and for that, well, many people view him to be a villain. Art Schlichter, Baltimore Colts and Indianapolis Colts. Raise your hand if you've heard of Art Schlichter. Honestly, I'd be kind of surprised if anyone's hand is up right now. I mean, how many of you have heard of a quarterback who played 13 games, 6 starts over 4 years, never won a game, and threw for 3 touchdowns with 11 interceptions? I mean, not only are those results horrible for any quarterback, they're even worse when you consider that the person responsible for those numbers was a former first-round draft pick. In fact, he was the 4th overall pick of the 1982 draft. The player being discussed is Art Schlichter. The quarterback lost the starting job in his rookie season for being out of shape, but by his second season, it was apparent that Schlichter had a problem. Between his first 2 seasons, he amassed close to $500,000 in gambling debts, and as a result of fearing for his safety, he turned to the FBI for help. The troubled quarterback was suspended for the 1983 season, and while ultimately reinstated, by 1985, rumors of gambling resurfaced, and the Colts released Schlichter. It was later reported that over the years, Schlichter often stole or even conned money from friends and passed bad checks that amounted to almost $1.5 million in stolen money. Schlichter isn't here for his addiction. He's more here because he violated the #1 rule in, well, playing professional sports. That's right. No gambling. Kind of a big no-no as a professional sports player. Ty, Ndamukong Suh, Detroit Lions, Miami Dolphins, LA Rams, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Philadelphia Eagles, and Bill Romanowski, San Francisco 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles, Denver Broncos, and Oakland Raiders. So far, the members of our list have earned their status as villains due to off-the-field issues. So how about we mix it up a little bit and take a look at those who earned villain status for on-field issues. Since we couldn't decide between Ndamukong Suh and Bill Romanowski for the spot in our list, we're just kind of pairing them up, as they're both guilty of the exact same behavior. There's no denying that both Suh and Romanowski were studs during their playing careers. Suh, the 2nd overall pick of the 2010 draft, was named to 5 Pro Bowls and was a 3-time All-Pro. As well, he won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers. Romanowski was a 3rd-round draft pick who earned 2 Pro Bowl nods, but was a member of 4 Super Bowl champions, 2 with the 49ers and 2 with the Broncos. There's absolutely no questioning the talent, as both men have borderline Hall of Fame cases. But their on-field behavior might be the thing that keeps them out of Canton. You see, Both players were widely known for taking cheap shots at their opponents. Suh was considered to be one of the dirtiest players in the game, especially after he attempted to stomp on the head of Packers lineman Evan Dietrich Smith. Romanowski earned over $100,000 in fines during his career, but earned his infamy when he spit in the face of J.J. Stokes. Two absolutely dirty players who absolutely earned their infamy. Lawrence Taylor, New York Giants. The second overall pick by the New York Giants in the 1981 draft, Lawrence Taylor would go on to become arguably the greatest defensive player to ever step on a football field. Look, if you've never seen footage of Lawrence Taylor, go and watch him. Pause this video. We'll wait. The accolades are plenty. 10-time Pro Bowl, 8-time All-Pro, 1986 AP MVP, 3-time AP Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time Super Bowl champ, and a Hall of Fame inductee. However, the awards are only part of the story here. Sure, Taylor was a revolutionary player. His speed and power turned the outside linebacker position into an attacking position. Opposing teams needed a game plan to specifically stop the Giants linebacker. In fact, the two tight end set was created as a way to try and stop LT. And guess what? It didn't work. Despite Taylor's abilities on the field, he had his demons off of it. You see, he struggled with drug issues throughout his playing career, but it's his other off-field issues that put him into villain status. You see, in 2010, he was arrested for the statutory rape of a 16-year-old girl. It was reported that the girl was forced by her pimp to tell the ex-NFLer that she was 19. The former linebacker pleaded guilty to the misdemeanor charges of sexual misconduct and patronizing a prostitute. He was also forced to register as a level 1 sex offender. But for many people out there, this irrevocably changed their opinion, with many NFL fans being unable to view this man in a positive light. Plaxico Burress, Pittsburgh Steelers, New York Giants, and New York Jets. Plaxico Burress is the first player on our list who's here for gun violence against himself. You see, Burress was drafted by the Steelers and over an 11-year career with 2 franchises carved out actually a very nice career for himself. He started 138 out of a possible 248 games, caught 553 passes for 8,499 yards with 64 touchdowns, and won a Super Bowl with the New York Giants. Surprisingly, he never earned a Pro Bowl nod. All of that while missing 2 prime seasons, ages 32 and 33, while being suspended for violating the league's personal conduct policy. In 2008, Burress accidentally shot himself. While out at a nightclub, the gun in his pants began sliding down his leg. As he attempted to grab the gun, he accidentally pulled the trigger, shooting himself in the leg. As a result of the shooting and his attempted cover-up of the incident, he was released by the Giants. To avoid further more serious legal troubles, Burress accepted a plea deal requiring 2 years in prison and 2 years of supervised release. He would serve 20 months, but as a result of his stupidity, he cost the Giants an opportunity in the 2008 playoffs. Little piece of advice: if you are carrying a gun, make sure the safety's on. So, yeah, stupidity and being a bad teammate earns Plaxico Burress his spot on this list. Antonio Brown, Pittsburgh Steelers, New England Patriots, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's an argument to be made for Antonio Brown to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I mean, I'm not gonna make that argument, but I mean, there is an argument there. Look, he was a very good receiver over the course of his first 9 years of his career. During that time, all spent with Pittsburgh, Brown twice led the league in receiving yards. He broke 1,000 yards receiving in 7 of those 9 years, was named to 7 Pro Bowls, and had over 11,000 yards receiving with 74 touchdowns. He would only add to those stats, including a Super Bowl title, during his time with New England and Tampa. But during Week 17 of the 2021 season and a game against the New York Jets, the wide receiver took off his jersey, pads, and gloves and left the field, running into the Bucs locker room. After the game, the Bucs released the mercurial receiver. Brown claimed that his move was due to medical disagreement with the Tampa team doctors, but he has a well-documented history of erratic behavior, let's just say. Regardless, Brown quit on his teammates mid-game, mid-season, and for that, he earns a spot on our list. As I mean, quitting, particularly in the middle of a game, is sort of a cardinal sin in sports. But hey, what NFL player throughout history do you think was the most villainous? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking that like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.